This is football primetime. I'm not going to do it the way Sam does it. I think it's better that I just take my own way and let
Yeah.
Sam do the whole kit and caboodle. Uh, guys, welcome back after that whole Super Bowl Sunday. Fantastic week. Um, now we're into the doldrums of football, talking about off-season stuff, but we want to do the big game first. I'm here, of course, here with my co-host, AJ Dean. I am Billy Dean. We're brought to you by Sam Wu, courtesy of Primetime Radio. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube and eventually on Apple and Google and Spotify and iHeartRadio. We're getting up there so you guys can listen to past episodes. But, please go on and take a look. Leave us 5-star reviews if you're so kind. Football. I didn't even turn off the music yet. That's how good of a producer I
Amateur,
am.
amateur mistake right there.
Yeah, amateur
We're-
mistake.
we just had the postseason, and you're in
We did.
preseason mode. So
I'm in preseason mode already. Yeah. No, Sam Wu will join us later on. He has some hot takes, I'm sure. But like I said, fantastic game that we watched last Sunday. Rams obviously winning the Super Bowl 23-20 over the Bengals. Just maybe takeaways. I know everybody's analyzed, everything. Stafford had a pretty decent game other than the two picks. Joe Burrow almost. I don't want to say that he was just I just didn't see enough from him on an overall basis to be like, he took that next step. I know he did it in the playoffs and he played well and got all the stuff done, but I think when it came to shine, I mean, he only had the one touchdown, 263 yards. But I feel like he kind of got lost in the moment a little bit. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think part of that too, though, is he was sacked 9 times,
Well,
right?
yeah, no, that helps.
Right, seven
That's
times.
that's
Um,
back-to-back weeks over 7 sacks, and he had the sack where he threw the interception. Well, not the intercept. Well, it was an interception technically.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's
Uh,
funny because it doesn't
no.
show.
Yeah.
Was it a fumble? I guess, but
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, he had a tough game in the trenches. His offensive line didn't help him. That defensive line from the Rams between obviously Aaron Donald, who's just amazing. He had the 2 sacks, the 2 tackles for loss. He had the pass deflections. He had 3 quarterback hits altogether. You had Von Miller, who was in his face. He had 2 sacks as well. He had 3 QB hits overall. Jalen Ramsey even get in the backfield a little bit. Leonard Floyd with the sack. A'Shawn Robinson, who looked like the best defensive tackle in football, was awesome. And Ernest Jones was also in the backfield until he got hurt. They had constant pressure. Yeah, you're right. They had 7 sacks, 11 quarterback hits overall. He was getting beat up. And, I do think that, they tried to scheme him up a little bit in the beginning of the game to make him look a little better. But they were able to stick it to him and, and keep going after the quarterback. And that's kind of what happened in that whole fourth quarter where he just couldn't get any offense going.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I didn't think that Stafford had the greatest of games either. I mean, this
No,
was.
those 2 interceptions were bad.
I mean, I think this was all for the most part a defensive game. Both defenses I thought played pretty well against the offenses. I mean, the biggest thing was Joe Burrow couldn't do anything. Like you said, constantly under pressure. Getting sacked left and right. It shows you having an offensive line in front of you. How much that can help your quarterback, even with how well he was doing. This season. With that line and the plays that he was making, but yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they kind of do in the offseason. If they're able to shore it up a little bit more. I think they're doing like a stat, and this is more defensively for them, but like they're saying that they have basically 10. They had 10 new guys, something like that from this season and last season that weren't on the team 2 years ago.
7 on defense, right? I think
Yeah.
7 free football or starting free agents were signed on the defense. And
Yeah.
I mean, it leads to be the question a little bit about the Jets. This for later talk, but what they could do this season, but this offseason. But yeah, I mean, excuse me. He they obviously they have a little ways to go to become that true Super Bowl contender, and you see what the Rams can do. Trading away basically their entire future up until I think
Yep.
2024. Um, and they went for it, and it finally paid off. They went for it, I
Yeah.
think 3 years ago technically, and this season they got it. Von Miller was a big help for that team. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey, who's been awesome for them since being acquired from the Jaguars. Um, you can look down the list. There's been plenty of acquisitions, including their quarterback Matthew Stafford, who you know
I,
he came in for Jared Goff and he won him a Super
I,
Bowl.
I have a question for you. Do you think this would have been a different season if they had Jared Goff?
Jared Goff, yeah.
Yeah. I think I think
See,
I think it, like they would have still been contenders. Would
yeah.
they have potentially gone to the Super? I mean, I don't think Stafford had a great postseason, honestly.
No, I don't think he
He
did either.
looked rough, and I mean, maybe he made a couple of throws that Goff didn't make at times and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't think.
And
I mean, they won a Super Bowl.
he force fed Cooper Kupp. I mean, they
Yeah,
made that last drive happen for the 7 points.
yeah.
And so I was interested. How bad was Jared Goff in that Super Bowl against the Patriots when they lost 13-3? And I was going back and looking, and Jared Goff was 19 for 38 for 230 yards and an interception. It's not a great game, right? But they also couldn't get any offense going. Todd Gurley was 10 for 35. They were stuffing the run. Brandon Cooks
Yeah.
had a big game. He was 8 for 120. Robert Woods was pretty decent, 5 for 70. Was Cooper Kupp even on that team? He must have been. He must have just been like a fourth or fifth
Yeah,
wide receiver.
yeah.
Um, but that team was 15-4. They played great. Jared Goff was a decent game manager. I don't think he was all world.
No.
But he knew exactly what he needed to do to at least get them to there, but maybe he just couldn't get over the hump,
Mhm.
and maybe they needed someone like this. But yeah, you're right. I don't think Stafford had a great game. He hit a good touchdown to Odell Beckham, who obviously it looked like he tore his
Yeah,
ACL. I don't
yeah.
think did they say anything about that injury yet? I didn't see
I didn't
anything.
see anything.
So
Try
what
to look
looks
it
like
up.
he tore his ACL, but the guy played great. I mean, when he was in, that offense was rolling, and it looked like it could have been, a beatdown those first few quarters, first couple quarters, if he stays in and he's working like he is, because they started going man down, and it was tough for them to get some offense going, and you didn't really see it until that fourth quarter drive that they finally were able to get some points on the board.
Yeah,
Um,
he did
you know,
tear his ACL again, the same one.
he did.
That's what's reported.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one. And it sucks because he's obviously going to miss out on a lot of money.
Hmm.
And you know he
I mean, I will
really was
say,
having a good game.
yeah, I will say. I mean, it shows too a world of difference being on, for him being on the Rams as compared to the Browns.
Yeah,
I saw another stat too that I think with his 2 or 3 years with Cleveland, right? He had 8 total touchdowns or something like that. Of course, obviously he had the injury for one of those seasons, but this season alone he had 8 total touchdowns, which is it's insane. It's insane.
yeah. All right. So Cup's 2018 season, he played in 8 games. It looks like he had 40 receptions for 566 yards. So he was actually on a 1,000-yard pace, 6 touchdowns. I guess he must have gotten hurt, and then he missed the playoffs. But I mean, Cooper Kupp. I mean, let's talk about him.
Yeah.
145 receptions, 1,947 yards, 16 touchdowns. He won the Triple Crown. He was absolutely fantastic in the postseason. And I'm trying to
Yeah.
find the postseason stats because they were ridiculous. He was hands down, the MVP, and I saw he was talking about he didn't think he deserved it and all that stuff, and obviously very humble guy, but he was otherworldly the entire
Yep.
time. You could give him the ball. So he had in 6 playoff games in his career. So this is 6 in his career, and then I'll get to the season. He has 45 catches, 625 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And I'm trying to find his season, but the
You
4
ready for this one?
games. Yeah, let's see it.
So postseason, he had 33 receptions, 478 yards, 6 touchdowns, uh, and then yeah,
That's, I mean, to almost average 9 catches a game, and you're over
yeah,
100 yards easy. You're like 125, and then 6 touchdowns. And he had the two in this game. He, that first one where he got blitzkrieged, and he was able to catch that. And then the second one where he gets knocked unconscious, almost looks like he almost got knocked unconscious, and
hmm
they had to replay the down because there were two penalties, which is also it's ridiculous that you could have a holding and then a personal foul, and that just they negate each other. Like I
yeah,
understand that the one wouldn't happen without the other, but it doesn't make sense. But he had the eight total receptions. He had 92 yards. Um, Beckham, like I said, the 2 catches for 52 yards. He had the 35-yard long touchdown. They got a little work from their third string tight end in Hopkins. Even Darrell Henderson was pretty good out of the backfield for them. But Van Jefferson, I thought had a terrible game, and they
yeah.
needed him to step up, and he had 2 bad drops. He had 8 targets total, only had 4 catches. And the running game was non-existent.
Yeah.
Between Cam Akers 13 for 21, it almost reminded me of the Todd Gurley Super Bowl where they just couldn't get anything going. Their most effective run was Cooper Kupp on an end around. He had 7 yards.
Yeah,
Um,
which is crazy.
yeah, I mean he's a Swiss Army knife. He is the best player in football. Like I said, you give him the ball and he makes a stutter step and he's gone, and he can make anybody miss. And he's reliable, and Stafford knows exactly where he's going to be every single time he throws the ball, and Kupp's there and he makes the catch. I think he had one drop,
No,
and you could see that bothered him. Um,
no, I mean
so,
he rightfully so deserved that MVP.
yeah,
Throughout this whole season, throughout the postseason, I mean he was, I think the difference maker. Obviously for this team, you know, Beckham, I thought had a good game up until obviously he got injured, and you could
yeah,
see that he was going, and I didn't think Cup was actually really going. They were looked like Stafford was trying to target him,
yep.
Beckham a little bit more, and get him going early.
I don't
Um,
doubt that that's what they wanted to do. They probably were like, listen, they're going to be all over Cooper Kupp.
yeah,
Beckham has to make plays, and he did.
hmm
He did.
yeah.
Um, Go ahead. Sorry, but
No, I mean, you saw too. When Beckham first went out, they didn't. I think there were a few drives where they didn't have like anything going. It wasn't until late in that game that I feel like that they, started getting the ball rolling a little bit more, and um, you know, eh, who who'd have thought too that missed PAT at the end of the second quarter, for the Rams, would have almost cost them. Um, with
yeah.
the game and coming back. But
All right. So
um,
I
good.
just wanted to quickly. So they had the first 5 plays, right? They had the punt because they only got the single yard. Then they had the touchdown with Beckham that happened later.
hmm
Then they have a punt, another touchdown. That was the Cooper Kupp one, and that was in the second quarter where they went up 13-3. And you're like, all right, these guys are really starting to roll. Then he gets hurt. Stafford throws an interception. Next play is a punt. Then end of the half, they go into the second half. Bengals score right away. Stafford throws another interception, which was backbreak. I mean,
hmm
you're like, Bengals just went up 17-13, and you have 2 horrible plays in a row where T. Higgins, face masks Jalen Ramsey to the ground and makes the catch, and it should have been a call to penalty,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
hmm
So they have a big play. Then they get another big play 2 plays later. Actually, no, sorry, 1 play later where you know, it's an interception and, Stafford looks terrible. They go down, they kick a field goal. The Rams manage a 10-play drive to get the field goal. The Bengals then punt, and it was 6 punts in a row. It was Bengals, then LA, then Bengals, then LA, then Bengals, then LA. And both defenses were just slaughtering them.
Yeah.
And then finally, the Rams come down and they score that 15-play, 79-yard touchdown with just Stafford to Kupp the entire way. And the Bengals go down on 5 plays, go down on yards, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just tough to see that the Bengals just couldn't seem to take advantage when they clearly got lucky on a bunch of plays, and so that you make luck, and that whole thing where luck is what you make of it, but they had some injuries that they could have taken advantage of, and Stafford got hurt. He looked like he had an ankle injury, and then Burrow with his knee injury, and maybe that really just shook them up. But
No, I
yeah,
mean,
I just think that they needed it.
I thought that you know the running game for them worked well. They had some great little trickery with the Joe Mixon touchdown. Where he threw the ball. I think it was to Higgins. Um,
Yep,
I
yeah,
thought
6 yard touchdown.
Higgins and Chase both had good games. Obviously you didn't have
And Mixon had a good game.
yeah, no, I mean all three of their
15
guys
for
had played well.
75. Yeah,
And you had Boyd in there too.
yeah, made
With
some
a
catches.
couple of yards, and I just think it just came down to that offensive line just not being able to give Burrow enough time to make a play. Um, I think if they had one or two more pieces on that line, I think the Bengals would have won this game maybe handedly, honestly.
Yeah,
But so I mean, like you said, we'll see what happens in the offseason. If they, depending on where they go with the draft, or free agency. I mean, if I'm a free agent, I'd look to go to Cincinnati.
yeah. I mean, they clearly have an up and coming roster. I'm a big fan of what Joe Burrow's doing. I think that they know where they want to go. They have some weapons that can clearly make a difference. Jamar Chase is one of the most exciting wide receivers in football.
Hmm.
Um, we talked about Burrow. Mixon's a good running back. Maybe they get a backup that can help him out. T. Higgins, I think, is a great second option, and Tyler
Yeah,
Boyd's one of the best third end wide receivers in football. They might lose their tight end in C.J. Uzomah. I don't know what they would want to do if they want to. Thaddeus Moss. I know he got hurt. I don't know if he's the starter for them in the long term. Jonah Williams is a good left tackle, but they need help on that line, and I could definitely see them using a first round pick, which I think they have if you give me 1 second, they have the 32nd pick. Well, obviously they have 32nd pick, but I want to make sure they didn't deal any, right? Um,
I don't think so.
yeah, I don't think they made any trades. But yeah, so they would have the 32nd pick. I could see them definitely going offensive line, especially this is a pretty big offensive line draft.
Hmm.
There's a good bunch of good options. Oh no, sorry, they're 31st because they didn't win. My bad.
Yeah,
And 32nd the Detroit Lions because they have that from the Stafford trade. Yeah, they haven't taken. I just look at some mock drafts, but Nick Petit-Frere from Ohio State's good, tackle. They could use him on the right side. Um, Trey Hopkins is a decent center. Um, on defense, Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson are good bookends. DJ Reader, BJ Hill, two guys that can squash the middle.
hmm
Logan Wilson I like a lot. I thought he was a
yeah,
very good player for them. And then maybe a corner, right? Eli Apple is one of
Apple,
their top guys. I know they have Trey Waynes, they have Vernon Hargraves, they got Awuzie. I think they could definitely use some help there. And then Jesse Bates is
yeah,
awesome, and Von
yeah.
Bell is a very good backup safety. So, and they have Kick Fearson. So,
Yeah, yeah, that was great. You see that he was watching the halftime show the whole time.
yeah, he
That's pretty
came out
funny.
and was watching it. I mean, kickers can do that, right? They're supposed to be out there kicking anyway, and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
So why go back in the locker room, ruin
no,
anything?
that was a
Um,
great scene.
and then the Rams, right? I know that it sounds like Aaron Donald's going to be back next year. Um, it's obviously McVay. There was talks about maybe him going to the booth, making some extra money, and doing it that way. I think he comes back. I think he's
Yeah,
too big of a football mind, football coach to
what
kind of up and
35,
leave.
right? 36. Like, why would you do
Yeah,
that?
36. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was the two youngest coaches in history in a
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
well, 36 and 38, right?
Taylor and McVay. Yeah. They're going to have cut for a long time. It sounds like they want to get Beckham back. I don't know how the contract will work, but they should have Robert Woods back, which would be a big upgrade.
Hmm.
That four wide receiver set of Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp is
Yeah, it's scary.
nasty. I mean, because Van Jefferson could take the top off any football field. And then you got Cooper Cup man in the slot. Same thing with Robert Woods, and then Beckham on the outside. They should definitely be able to compete easily and be a favorite next year.
Yeah, I would say if they can bring those guys back, I mean, obviously there's
And Cam
slight
Akers
question
another
marks.
year.
Yeah, but I mean, like there's slight question marks right now with obviously Beckham injury. How he's gonna
Yeah,
recover from that, and even Woods. Just depending on until you first see him. I mean,
yeah,
if Akers, the way he came back from his injury, I thought played pretty well. Obviously, the fumbling was an issue. But I mean, he looked strong when he was running during this postseason. It didn't get many yards, obviously, during the game, but and then having Henderson too and Sonny Michel. I mean, I don't know if both those guys will be back. I don't know if Henderson's on his last year of his rookie deal or not, but
yeah.
um,
I'm not too sure.
I mean,
So
I thought Henderson had a great season, and even Michelle when he came in kind of relief for Henderson when he was injured.
yeah, I'm trying to find exactly what the deal is with 2022 for free agents for the Rams. It does say Von Miller is a UFA. I thought he was signed for another year, but maybe I'm. So it has Beckham Jr. UFA. It has Austin Corbett guard. He's not going to be on the team. Sonny Michel, which they'd probably have back as a good backup.
Hmm.
Darius Williams, the cornerback, who's 29, so maybe they don't have him back. And then Von Miller. Yeah, so it does say Von Miller, but I could see him either staying or going back to Denver.
Or
I don't know that he's really going to go where else or
I
retire.
could see him
Maybe.
retiring. Yeah.
Yeah, one was 33. He's won two Super Bowls, right? Or two Super Bowls, three,
Yeah.
two. Yeah, that's a good
Was he
career.
was he with that
Um,
first Denver team when they won? Well, no, Denver only won it once. That's right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
twice.
I think Denver's only won three times. Two with Elway and
Yeah.
one with Peyton. Uh, all right. I mean, it was a great game. I had a lot of fun watching it. Obviously you can see that, T. Higgins is a star in the making. Same,
Hmm.
that whole wide receiving core. But both teams were fun to watch, and it was a good game. And excited for the Rams. They made me some money, so that was good too.
Yeah,
Um,
I made that bet that a wide receiver would win the MVP. Got that one. So
oh, you did?
yep,
Ah,
yep, made some
nice.
money on that one. So that was going.
Yeah.
What you real quick? What'd you think about some of the Super Bowl commercials?
So I was trying to. Sorry, I was trying to
Anything stick
remember.
out?
I, I liked shit Seinfeld. The director. He's in
Oh, the Larry
he's his
David.
own show. Larry David. Thank you. Why was I blanking on that one? That one was good.
That
Obviously,
was a bad
you
one.
see all the trailers for movies, which we're big fans of.
Yeah.
Marvel and all that stuff. So Doctor Strange was good. Um, I, I'm trying to remember
So I
what
like
other ones.
the Doritos one where the lady was in the wilderness and then you see the
The hot. Yeah, they were the
yeah
push it. Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Do 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 do. Um, what else was there? There was
That and
the
the
one,
Barbie doll one too was kind of funny with Anna
the
Kendrick.
Barbie doll one. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, and I
it
don't
was
remember seeing that
for
one. There was there's like the Uber Eats one, right?
see I didn't like that one. I thought that was stupid.
Nah, I didn't like it, but I just like the Gwyneth Paltrow thing with her the
Oh
candle.
yeah, the
I think
eating
it's pretty
candle.
funny. Yeah.
The Amazon one wasn't bad with
The Mind Reader.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scarlett
that one
Johansson
wasn't
and
bad. Yeah.
Colin Jost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. Yeah, the Doritos one was another one. The Matthew McConaughey was so dumb. Yeah,
I don't
Dreamhouse with
even
Anna Kendrick. Um,
I don't even remember
yeah, and
the
it's.
one
I
with
mean, there was a lot
McConaughey.
going on in the house that we were watching, so I don't really. Yeah, it wasn't conducive to listening to the commercial ads all that well. But
Fair.
um, yeah, everyone was talking about the Arnold one where he's where he's Zeus. Um, and then you have the Nissan, the
Yeah.
BMW ones. Actually the Lays stay golden with Paul Rudd and
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was probably the best one.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was good. I like that one. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I didn't really see anything else that I was, really. There's the
yeah,
Joneses.
laugh
I thought
out
that was
loud.
stupid. Verizon had the cable guy on, which
Yeah, that was
seeing
going
Jim
to.
Carrey back was funny. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best commercial season. All right, so football now gets into off season and the draft coming up, and we'll probably go on a little bit of a break in the dog days. I think the NFL draft, if I believe rightly, is April 28th. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll probably have a couple weeks off and we'll do a draft preview show, and then we'll actually be live for the draft like we were last year. Anything? So Packers signed, I guess, that QB coach that he liked from the guy that retired,
Yep.
Clements.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get him back. Obviously, that would include Devontae Adams, who, if Aaron Rodgers leaves, Adams is going to leave too. He'll probably just be traded.
Yeah.
He wants $30 million, which is crazy a season. And I know
What,
that
Adams?
yeah, Adams, Adams, and I know that Hopkins got 27, so it makes sense because he's better. But Jesus,
Yeah.
man, that's a lot. And I was thinking about
Yeah.
it. I mean, if the Jets could wheel and deal for him, I would do that. But the Chiefs are linked to Kamara. Case turns himself. Chiefs cornerback links to Marcus. Yeah, that the whole Alvin Kamara thing not good, and I like Kamara, and it just sucks that he had to put himself in this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
The world's oldest Patriots fan died in Maine at age 106. I mean, the poor guy. And then the Cowboys, the whole cheerleader allegations.
Did you see the thing that happened with Stafford and the photographer? Like what?
Yeah, he's going to cover the photographer's bill after the fall. I didn't see.
I didn't see. I just saw a video of the lady falling and then Stafford doing an O face and then just turning around and walking away, and then I guess his wife was the one that tried to help her and
fell
stuff
off the
like that.
stage.
I didn't see I didn't find out what happened. After that.
I don't know. Apparently, they're paying their bills. Yeah, photographer falls off the Ram stage. Yeah, no, I actually just watched it. He literally is watching her. She just falls off, and he then turns around and walks away. I mean, what are you doing, dude? It's not a good thing. Yeah. Oh, he just walked away and didn't even do anything. Oh man, what are you doing?
Yeah. His wife was the one that went out.
That is not a good look.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see this. Apparently, there's going to be a buyout for Jim Harbaugh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, something from NFL. Buyout for Jim Harbaugh's new contract at Michigan leaves door open for NFL return.
Oh, he could still have the option to go out. Yeah, that makes sense. Run it back. All right, so we'll eventually get into. I mean, you want to do the free agents, the notable free agents football?
We can, if you want to. That's fine with me.
All right, so we'll just do quickly the big names, and this way, I give a little teaser for what's coming. We got another 15 minutes, but Von Miller, obviously, we talked about him. Brandon Scherf, who I always feel like is a free agent. Every year, and I would love for the Jets to get him, but who knows what's going to happen with him and the Washington football team. Also at the Commanders now. Allen Robinson, 28, good wide receiver option. What was that?
So it's going to get time. It's going to take time to get used to saying the Washington Commanders.
I know. Went from the Redskins to the football team, and I have to get Chandler Jones is a free agent. He's 32 though. High price outside linebacker. Chris Godwin, who, I don't know what they're going to do now that Brady's gone. Do they franchise him? I'm sure that's probably the best option for them to do, but we'll see what happens with the wide receivers. Nate Solder, but he's not going to make anywhere close to $15 million. Dante Fowler got cut by Atlanta. Devontae Adams is another one. He's going to be he's going to be franchised most likely. Yeah, Mike Williams. Ben Roethlisberger, but he's retired. Tyrann Mathieu. I forgot Mathieu is a free agent. I think he still goes back to KC.
I would too.
Um,
Yeah.
Cam Robinson from the Jaguars, obviously very high paid, but not nearly the player that he should have been. Also, his line mate, Andrew Norwell. Teron Armstead, very good left tackle for New Orleans. He's 30, has some injury history, but that's an interesting candidate. I wouldn't mind the Jets actually getting Teron Armstead and moving Becton over to right. Stephon Gilmore, although he didn't have the best of years, he's aging at 31. Aging at 31, that's crazy to say. Calais Campbell, always awesome. I love him. He's 35. JPP, Akeem Hicks. So you got a few DNs right in a row. Devin McCourty, free safety, but I don't see him going anywhere but New England. You do have Dwayne Brown, left tackle for Seattle. Joe Hayden. He's been around for forever too. Will Fuller, Marcus Williams, who I like from the Saints. Free safety.
Clowney.
I would love for the Jets to get him. Yeah, Clowney too. I see him. Marcus May from the Jets. You have Brandon Williams from Baltimore, the D tackle. Ryan Jensen, Tampa Bay's center, but I think he goes back there. Couple quarterbacks. You got Fitzy. You got Dalton. Who else we got for quarterback class? You have at least for backups. There's not really going to be any starters other than maybe Jameis, depending on what happens with him.
I think they would bring him back.
I don't know that they're going to bring him back. I think they're going to go get somebody. I really do. I think they go and get a quarterback either in the draft or free or trading for somebody. I don't know who they could trade for, but Riley Reif, not quite as good as he used to be. Juju Smith-Schuster, Gronk, but I think he either stays there or he retires again. Patrick Peterson, who was in Minnesota. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, I thought he played pretty decently with the Jets. When he became a little more accustomed with the scheme, I thought he played decent. Ndamukong Suh, which who knows if he just goes around and tries to find Super Bowl contenders.
Actually,
Jamison Crowder, also from the Jets.
I'd say two big tight end names, that have played really well. Mike Gesicki and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. I think that Dalton Schultz would be the guy I would go after the Jets for tight ends at least. I don't know about Gesicki so much, but yeah, definitely a good option. A lot of free agency questions coming up, especially for the local teams, Jets and Giants, and just in general for the whole league. For the draft, both teams, right? Jets and Giants coming in with huge draft scenarios. You're talking about, Jets at 5. Giants. I was right. Giants at 5, and then at 7. Jets at 4, and then 10. A lot of talk about the Jets, and this would absolutely piss me off. But if the Jets got the safety from Notre Dame, I would not like that at all. I think that's too early for a safety. I don't care if he's if he's Jesse Bates, Kyle Hamilton, right?
Hamilton, yeah.
No. If you're going to give me a D-back, it's got to be a corner, and I would want Stingley, Derek Stingley from LSU. If it's not him, it's either got to be an offensive tackle, and I'll take a left tackle, and you can move him over to right, or it's got to be one of the big pass rushers. I either want Aiden Hutchinson, Thibodeau, which is not going to happen, or Thibodeau. Yeah. And a name that I also was kind of getting interested in too. Karlaftis I like, but I don't know at 4. I think if he lasted to 10, sure.
Yeah.
Drake London, the wide receiver from USC, dude, 6'5". He is a massive human being. He reminds me a lot of what's his name in Tampa, Mike.
Mike Evans.
Wide receiver from Mike Evans. Thank you. He reminds me a lot of him, and the Jets do not have that kind of a body. And you give me that guy, and you put him with Elijah Moore and with Corey Davis on the other side, and I will go to bat with those 3 wide receivers. And if if Zach Wilson can't take the next step with those three, then c'est la vie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind him. I've seen him go as high as 2, which is pretty crazy. But
I'm surprised. Like I'm just seeing, some of the quarterbacks, that are going in the top 10.
they say Carolina Panthers, Kenny Pickett,
Oh no,
that at 6. That's where Matt Rule will go.
I'm seeing Matt Corral.
You see Crowell there too?
Yeah, at
Yeah, I
6.
definitely think that it's a quarterback for the Panthers. I think that's the first one that goes. I think that Houston probably goes with the edge rusher, whoever falls out of Hutchinson or Thibodeau. I think that at 2, the lines are a little bit of a wild card. They could take a tackle. They could take Neal. I could see them taking the other tackle from NC State, Ekwonu, who they call Mr. Pancake. I mean, the guy is enormous. Jordan Davis is also another name that I've heard very high, defensive tackle out of Georgia. He's might be coming into the league the best defensive tackle already. He's that good. Not really Aaron Donald, really, but yeah, there's a ton of talent and a lot of guys that I'm personally a big fan of. It'd be nice to have Karlaftis late in the draft. I do want Tyler Lindenbaum if that means that I have to trade out of 4. If at 4, if the big tackle's gone, Neal, and both Hutchinson and Thibodeau are gone, trade back. Give me anywhere in the 10 the 10 pick or whatever, and I'll take a run at guys like Lindenbaum. I'll go for a tight end, or I'll go Stingley. Like give me more picks, so this way we can try to really rock this next year. And then for the Giants, I think that you keep at 4 and 7 unless someone's giving you a haul. 5 and 7. You keep it 5 and 7, and you go road grader tackle. You take Ekwonu if he's there, and then at 7 you take an edge. And if it's Karlaftis, awesome. I mean, you could put those two at both sides of the line for a couple years to come.
I mean, I say it might not be a bad idea for the Giants to try to trade to Seattle. Their pick to see if jump right ahead
Seattle's
of
the Jets.
No, sorry, Steelers. Jump ahead of Panthers. Now have their choice of quarterback. Be a haul.
Yeah, I mean they'd probably get it. They'd get a first next year. They get the first this year, and probably a 3rd or 4th. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Dropping down to 20 though, it's a big jump. I like Devin Lloyd from Utah, and he's right around that area too. And they've passed on 2 big linebackers the last 2 drafts. And this might be the year that they have to get that kid. And Devin Lloyd from Utah has been fantastic. I also like Jalen Windermeyer from Texas A&M. He's the tight end. Give me some David Bell in the 2nd round with the Jets pick, especially if they don't get a wide receiver in the 1st round. Petit Frere, very good tackle. I do like for wide receivers Olave, and I like obviously the kid from USC. It's going to be. I'm already excited for Jet fans. As having that 2 picks, I think that's going to be big.
Yeah.
The rest of the league, obviously, there's a ton of teams that need help. The Jaguars have a bunch of picks early. Same thing with the Eagles. I think they have 3. Right? Eagles have 3 picks.
Yeah.
So they're going to be racking them in. A lot of teams that aren't that have traded their picks are going to be very active in NFL free agency, and you could see them kind of scouring the wire. I don't know what a team like the Rams are going to do to fill any of the holes that they have. They're going to have to get a lot of young guys or hope that the rookies take steps. But yeah, it's going to be a fun offseason and something that I look forward to and want to get into a little more. We probably will have a show next week just to go over a couple more things before a little hiatus before free agency and the draft. No one wants to hear about how many times we can do mock drafts. So, but we'll have a mock draft. We will have our rankings. We'll post them out and we'll enjoy it. You got anything else before we sign off?
Nah, just got a good old trivia question.
All right, let me just take a look at one more thing. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. I have to go back to my trusty notes. If you want, do the trivia question, then we will get into it.
All right. So Matthew Stafford, um, with this Super Bowl win, obviously in his first Super Bowl, he won it at the age of 34. Who is the oldest quarterback to win a Super Bowl in their first Super Bowl appearance?
In their first Super Bowl appearance to win.
Yes.
Um,
I don't know if you'll get this one.
is
This is kind of a trick question.
is it recent?
No, it's not recent.
Oh, um,
He's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
is it Unitas?
Yeah, Johnny Unitas at the age of 37,
Yeah, yeah,
technically won his first
because
Super Bowl then.
you gotta remember they was in the AFL for so long, and then he went with Baltimore Colts when they came over and they beat the Cowboys for the first time. And I think it was that Super Bowl 5 or 4 or whatever that was.
3. Oh no, so,
Um,
yeah, 5.
no, Super Bowl 3 was
Yeah,
was
was
the
Namath.
was Namath, which is actually funny because I I think if and let me take a look at this. I think when I was looking through QB winners, they actually don't even give Johnny Unitas the Super Bowl loss. They give it to Earl Morrall. Um, they didn't even. I guess they said that
Oh,
United
that
shouldn't
he
have won
wasn't the
that. Should
starter.
have won that Super Bowl. Yeah, that he wasn't the starter, which is funny. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
I
he,
mean,
so technically he won his first Super
see, I
Bowl
was going to say
starting
Namath. I was going to say Namath, but then
in
when you said
fifth.
he was the best, I was like, oh, is it Unitas?
Yeah, yes, and then Unitas had won previously 3 NFL championships in 58,
Yeah,
59, and 68. So
yeah. That's kind of yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, 4-time Super Bowl champ, basically 4-time Super Bowl champ.
yeah,
Um, yeah, not bad. Well, we will bid everybody adieu and go from there. You got anything else before we head out?
no,
Sam Wu, the best there is. This is Football Primetime.